Hi, I'm Hannah, and in this series I'm going to be breaking down some of the most common hatha postures so that we can incorporate props to make it more accessible for our body type. I very much believe in the fingerprint theory. We all have a fingerprint, but indeed they're unique, and our body is very much the same. We may look similar, but they're all made up and feel very different. So throughout this series, we're going to go through one by one, looking at how to come in and out of the pose, how to use the props so that you get the most out of each one, and also what muscles are engaging during each pose, as it can make a difference to you on your journey so that you know which ones you want to target. So grab your mats and let's get started. Tadasana, our mountain pose. You'll see this one quite a lot through sequencing. Contraindications to this are knee, hip and spinal issues. So if you suffer with any of those, then please keep a gap between your feet, which we're going to go through. Props, don't necessarily need any. I'm going to show you about what we can use the wall for here, just to give you some stability if you're a little bit wobbly with standing up, whether it's blood pressure or vertigo, anything like that. I'm going to show you against the wall. But props wise, we don't actually have those to use in this pose. There's other things we can do instead. And then when we're in this, I'm going to talk you through the muscles that we're engaging. So first of all, as always, we're going to start from our roots upwards. So we're going to get our base. Now you can either have a slight gap between your feet. As you can see, my knees are in line with the ankles and they come right up. Or you can touch the big toes together and kick the heels out a little. Now for me, I don't know if you can see here, but my kneecaps then get drawn inwards, which we want to avoid. So for my particular body type, the small gap between the feet is what we're going to go for here. We're going to find our balancing points. We rock forwards and backwards, so onto the heels, onto the toes, heels and toes, and the pads of the feet, until we feel that we're really grounded and you've got that good root in place. Now spread your toes wide like a frog's foot, okay, and then place the toes one at a time down on the mat. And throughout Tadasana, you want to be pushing through all four corners of your feet. Now what I mean by that is the 2 points at the pad of the foot, so at your big toe, under your little toe, and then at the backs of the heels, the left and the right. So really push down through those. That's our root. Then we're going to draw up through the kneecaps. We're going to come up through the quads. We engage our glutes, just gently bringing them together to give us a neutral pelvis. Now with our pelvis, we want to just tuck it under a little. So I'm going to show you on the side here. So if I was to just stand, okay, I'll lift this up so you perhaps can see a little bit more. So sometimes my booty likes to stick out. So if I'm standing here, it could look like this. What we want to do though is tuck the pelvis under, so that if you imagine a bucket of water, the water is level in that bucket. Whereas if I just stand like my hips naturally want to go, the water's going to come out. So we tuck the pelvis under, we find that neutral position, and then we find that the glutes are engaged, okay? And that's when we draw our belly button into our spine. So once we've got our root, we've pulled up through our legs, we've got our pelvis, we're going to roll the shoulders back and drop them down from our ears. So you want to maintain space between your ears and your shoulders. Rolling them back just brings your scapula together at the back and brings them into the shoulder position that they should naturally fall in, but we're also hunched these days, okay? So just bring them round, opens up the chest beautifully. Our arms are straight beside us, our palms facing forwards with our fingers spread. And this is your Tadasana, standing tall. Good. Now this represents how you should hold yourself daily, to be honest, okay? So it's a stable connection with the earth beneath us. There's lots of muscles here that are subtly engaged, but that's how they would react in day-to-day life if we were to be really good with our posture. Our lower legs are stabilising us for balance. Our glutes and our TFL, our tensor fascia lata, are stabilising our hip area here. And our spinal extensors and our transverse abdominis are lifting and lengthening our spine. Now, from what I was saying earlier with the prop and the wall, what you can do is put your heels against your skirting board and just stand against the wall. Now, you want to maybe bring your feet forwards if it feels good to do so, so that you're not feeling like you're falling forwards, but you can stand like this. Now, it just takes away some of the wobbliness that we can feel if we're suffering from, like I say, vertigo, blood pressure issues, that kind of thing. Or if you'd like to close your eyes during the pose, sometimes when we close our eyes, we then can wobble like a tree in the wind. So use that to your heart's content. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, so that is our beautiful Tadasana. Now, an extension of this is the extended mountain pose. Now, I'll show you from the side here. So when we're in mountain pose, our extended mountain pose is when we're going to lift up the arms. Apologies for the mic if it's distorted here. Our arms, our biceps and triceps then also frame the ears. Okay, so they're going to frame the ears here. Our palms are together, our fingers are spread wide. Now, during sequences, you will have an option to add a back bend, which is when we can just gently go back as far as the body feels good to do so. Now, what I would say is if you do have back injury or pain, do that with extreme caution, okay? Only do that if you feel it's appropriate for your body and also if you've warmed up enough. If you feel that when you start there's a pinch in the lower back, come immediately out of it. You don't want any pain. So from the side here, mountain pose, standing tall, extended mountain pose, and then a little variation of adding the back bend. So, as always, let's take a moment to explore how our body feels for us. So if you'd like to come into that pose, get yourself nice and comfy, ground yourself down, and if you feel good to do so, just flutter your eyelids closed. Breathing normally, and then just notice what is going on in your body right now. Do you feel particularly grounded? Do you feel really connected with the earth beneath you? Do you feel like your back is telling you that this is quite unusual for this body? We don't normally stand like this. It's amazing what the body can tell you when we focus on it. Now find your inhalation, and with your exhalation, direct the breath into any sensation that you have identified. Any tightness, anything that's calling out for a little bit of attention. Good. Now, by standing as tall as we are, we're really opening the lungs. When we're hunched over, we compress our lungs, so the oxygen isn't as efficient as we'd like it to be. So we're opening up our chest, and we're really being able to get to the top and the bottom of those lungs. And then when you're ready, gently flutter your eyelids open. That's our Tadasana. Enjoy.